Let's go to New York and let's talk about the Sunday night football matchup between the Chiefs and the Jets. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the New York Jets 23-20. For the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes struggled in this one. He went 18 of 30. He threw for 203 passing yards, one touchdown, two interceptions. Pacheco had 20 carries, 115 rushing yards, one touchdown for the Chiefs. For the Jets, Zach Wilson went 28 of 39, threw for 245 passing yards, two touchdowns. Here's Chiefs head coach Andy Reid after the game.
All right. We just had one injury there, so Cole Christensen pulled his hamstring, so he'd be the only one to mention. Proud of our guys for battling through the night. There were some changes in momentum there. We were able to get it back and did a nice job of swinging things back the right way. And if I had to pick somebody out there, I'd pick Pacheco out for the nice job that he had tonight, and then for our corners for figuring out what they were doing and shutting them down. So it was good all the way around there. Anyways,
That was Chiefs head coach Andy Reid after the Chiefs 23-20 win over the New York Jets. So, first and foremost, when I look at this game, to me, this game showed me that the Chiefs receivers, I don't feel like Patrick Mahomes trusts these Chiefs receivers quite yet. I really, really don't. You look at what they were able to do. Kadarius Toney had 2 receptions, 22 receiving yards. Rice had 3 receptions, 32 receiving yards. Marquez Valdes-Scantling only had 1 reception for 6 receiving yards. I feel like when I look at this Chiefs offense, we know how great Patrick Mahomes is. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the reigning NFL MVP. Last year, the man had 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, over 5,000 receiving yards. He led the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. He won Super Bowl MVP on a bad ankle. Patrick Mahomes, he's the best quarterback in the NFL. He also has the best tight end in the NFL and Travis Kelce on his football team. Now, for whatever reason, Travis Kelce has been dare I say, a little bit distracted. He had 6 receptions for 60 receiving yards in this game. There was a time period in this game where Travis Kelce didn't have any receptions. He finished 6 for 60, but I feel like we can say that Travis Kelce has been a little distracted. He's been a little distracted lately, but I feel like right now, this Chiefs receiving core, they have not been given the trust from Patrick Mahomes that I feel like they deserve. Like I don't think Mahomes trusts his receiving core quite yet. I really, really don't. You got Rashee Rice, you got Sky Moore, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Justin Watson. Obviously, the Chiefs don't have an elite receiving core, and they don't even have a true number 1 receiver. They depend on the greatness of Mahomes and Kelce to bail them out in football games. And usually, because of Mahomes and Kelce's greatness, they're able to bail themselves out. But you have to ask the question, as the season goes along and we get into December and January, when the games actually matter, because the Chiefs are similar to LeBron, similar to Steph Curry. We don't judge LeBron or Steph in the regular season. We judge them in April, May, and June. We judge the Chiefs in January. So when they get into January and we get into the postseason, which receiver is going to step up in this Chiefs offense and be a reliable target for Patrick Mahomes to throw the football to, and someone he can trust, not named Travis Kelce? That's the biggest question I got for the Kansas City Chiefs right now. I feel like when you look at what they were able to do, I thought that them having 204 rushing yards was definitely impressive. Pacheco, he really ran the football effective, and he runs angry, and I like that for the Chiefs. They need a running back who they can rely on to give the football to. That way, their offense isn't one dimensional, and they're just relying on Patrick Mahomes. Of course, they can win games where Patrick Mahomes can be the only element of your offense, but you want to have a balanced attack and play complementary football. And in this game, they played complementary football. 204 rushing yards, 197 passing yards, 203 passing yards from Patrick Mahomes. So I feel like if they can rely on Pacheco in the running game, that's going to help this team in January. But they got to find a reliable number one receiver. It was supposed to be Kadarius Toney, but Kadarius Toney has not performed well in the first 4 weeks of the season. He had all those drops against the Lions in week 1. Last night, he only had 2 receptions for 22 receiving yards. So he got talent, but he has to play better. Now, when I look at the New York Jets, everyone is going crazy about Zach Wilson's performance. I'm one of those people that I don't believe in moral victories. I feel like the Jets fans and Robert Saleh, they're trying to find something that they can feel good about as we head into the second quarter of the season. Because I look at the NFL season just like I look at quarters in NFL games. We're through the first 4 weeks of this season, so this is the first quarter. And in the first quarter of the season, Zach Wilson, his team is 1-3, and so far this year, Zach Wilson, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 712 passing yards. He's completing 59% of his passes. He has not been very good. He hasn't even been average. This was his best performance so far this season. Now, I give him credit. He performed well in this game. Zach Wilson went 28 of 39, 245 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Honestly, the performance Sunday night against the Chiefs, that might be the best performance of Zach Wilson's career. Seriously. And one of the things that I said as I was watching the game Sunday night, I was thinking to myself, it was 2 interceptions thrown in this game. If you would have told me that the worst quarterback in the NFL would not have thrown an interception and the best quarterback in the NFL would have thrown both interceptions in this game, I would have told you you are crazy. Never talk football with me again. Think about that for a second. Zach Wilson, arguably, maybe with Joshua, I don't know, Joshua Dobbs has had a decent season, but Zach Wilson probably is the worst quarterback in the NFL. And I thought to myself as I'm watching this game, Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions. And he would have had thrown 3 interceptions if they didn't have that holding on Sauce Gardner on the last possession for the Chiefs. But that's crazy that Mahomes was the quarterback who threw 2 interceptions in this game, and Zach Wilson didn't throw a single interception. Now, he did drop the snap on the Jets' last possession. That cost the Jets an opportunity to tie the game with the game-tying field goal or possibly take the lead if they would have scored a touchdown. But I'm not here for moral victories. A loss is a loss. And in my opinion, Robert Saleh and the Jets football team and their fans, they're just trying to find something that they can hold on to have some type of belief that the Jets can turn this thing around. And I keep telling Jets fans that their season is over. You're not a playoff team. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins are both better than the New York Jets are. And the AFC West, The Chargers and the Chiefs are both better than the New York Jets are. In the AFC North, the Ravens and the Browns are both better than the Jets are. Even the Steelers, as bad as the Steelers played Sunday against the Texans, I would say they are better than the Jets are right now. And I know it's sad because they lost Aaron Rodgers to start the season, so they're just looking for a silver lining. It's not going to come from me. I'm going to be real with Jets fans and tell them the truth. I feel like the best way to be able to accept something in life is being truthful with yourself. If you can't be true to yourself, how can you be true to anyone else? You got to be truthful to yourself first. And Jets fans have to accept that this season will not be a successful season and they will not be a playoff team. They'll be lucky to finish 7-10 like they did last year. They'll be lucky to finish 7-10. They might finish 5-12. But overall, I feel like looking at this game, this was a game where I felt like the Chiefs, they didn't really take the Jets serious. Look, this is the Chiefs last year versus teams who were amongst the AFC's bottom. These are the worst teams in the AFC last year that the Chiefs played against. The Chiefs played the Titans. They beat the Titans by 3 points last year. They played the Raiders, and they won by 1 point and 18 points. They played the Broncos. They beat the Broncos by 6 and 3 points. They played the Colts. They lost that game against the Indianapolis Colts last year by 3 points. They beat the Texans last year only by 6 points. So when you look at these teams like the Chiefs and even in other sports like the Golden State Warriors, these teams, when they play these regular season games against teams who they know are not as good as they are, sometimes they can have a lackadaisical performance. And I feel like that's what happened in this Sunday night game against the Jets. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs didn't take the Jets serious. They didn't. Like I don't know. Like I know Mahomes didn't play great. So what? The Chiefs are going to figure it out. They'll be there in January. The Jets will not be there. But I think when you have these teams who win Super Bowls like the Chiefs, and even in the NBA like the Warriors who win championships, sometimes in the regular season, in the NFL season, in September, you'll have a lackadaisical performance, and a team like the Jets will feel like we can win this game. And that's what happened with the Chiefs on Sunday night. Now, I didn't like the holding penalty on Sauce Gardner on MVS on that Chiefs last possession. I didn't like that penalty. I feel like in that moment, it was like 3rd and 20. You have to let the players play and hold your flags. But overall, the Jets, they weren't going to win this game. They weren't going to win this game. And again, I think the Chiefs just didn't take them serious, and that's the reason why this game was close. But shout out to the Chiefs for improving to 3-1 on the season. They got Minnesota next week in Minneapolis. That'll be an interesting matchup, but they'll be favored in that game. The Jets, they go to Denver and play against Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. So we'll see what happens moving forward.